It's 88.2 Sanyu FM, the hit selector, with moi, Crystal. And the man behind the song you just listened to is here with me right now on Celeb Select. So, Danny. I'm going to call you Danny.
Yes.
When people call you Danny, do you feel like, huh?
Yeah. I know it's someone who knows me, definitely.
Danny
Usually.
Chigozie, a.k.a., of course, NAVIO.
Yeah.
No, see, I'm even trying to drop my voice.
To get the tone. I can't hear myself on the earphones, so sometimes when it's too low, I'm like, I try to...
No, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. It feels like I'm back home, actually. When I sit here, I feel like, I'm back home. So,
that's good.
Yeah. I've been good, yeah.
I have to ask you straight up about yesterday. You had a car accident yesterday.
Man.
Tell me what happened exactly. I'm so glad that you're okay.
Yeah, I've never actually been in a car crash, minus, of course, these massive scars on my forehead. And that's when I was, like, super young. I've never actually been in a car crash myself when I'm driving. So this was, like, my first proper, like, run-in.
Yeah.
And not only was it a run-in, like an accident, but it was a run-in with the law. So, like, it was a police van that actually hit me.
So you were hit by a police car?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, it was one of those unavoidable situations for both of us, I think. They had a job to do. I was just driving, and next thing you know, we ended up clashing. But
so this was, you said, on Entebbe Road?
Yes.
So you were coming back to town?
Yeah, I was coming towards town, and as I was entering the road, they were doing what they do, and I fisted the other side. Quickly, my neck, whiplash. I didn't know the definition until now. This is what it feels like. Yeah. So, my arm and my neck were a little bit sore, but I'm good.
Was it almost like a head-on collision?
Yeah. Basically, the front of his and the front of mine.
That's
decided
really
to say
scary.
hello.
That's really scary.
It is.
But we're thankful that you're okay and you're here.
Yeah, true. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Especially when you're driving. It really shakes you as well.
It does.
I know you're trying to be all, strong, but it shakes you.
Yeah, I mean, this morning, my people were like, it's okay, let me drive. And I was like, no, let me drive. Because if I don't, if I don't start immediately, then I'm going to be getting to interviews late. You know what I mean? Crawling there. So I was like, let me get back into the saddle.
Okay. Well, NAVIO, you've been in music for a really long time.
Yeah.
You've built up your profile on your own. You're huge, but of course you started like way back.
Yeah.
Were you that kid at home, like holding something, pretending it was a microphone?
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone had the Michael Jackson jacket, and you try and create your own wind. You'd be shaking the jacket like, hey. So yeah, I definitely started with that pretend mic, grabbing the combs and, the phones and trying to make out like I was performing. But I think it was kind of good training, builds up your confidence.
Okay.
And I think, doing that as well, because my family were the best critics, I think, for that. My mom is such a music enthusiast. She knows more Ugandan, in fact, world artists than I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother's all over it. My sister, huge music fans. So they were always able to, like, give me pointers and stuff, which was great.
Okay.
And, they were the first people to hear me rap, do my own original thing at 10 years old. And that's when they were like, hey, that's some famous guy. I'm like, no, that's not MC Hammer. That's something I wrote. And they were like, what? We need to link you up with Hope Mukasa right now and get you in the studio. So I did my first song when I was 10. Yeah.
Your first song when you were 10 years old. Wow. So that's a long time ago.
Yeah, even longer than you thought. You're like, whoa.
I'm like, okay, all right. So just tell us, where did you go to school?
I was at school in nursery in Entebbe.
Okay.
From there, I moved to a couple weeks at a school there, and then I moved to Turi in Kenya.
Just a couple of weeks?
Yes. Yeah, just a couple.
Why?
My Luganda was too hard for them to... Yeah? So they thought they'd show me other things also. I only used to speak Luganda and Swahili, so they're like, let them go join, my brother, my sister.
Okay.
And they were in Turi in Kenya. Because we had just moved back after the Civil War. They had continued school there. So, like, let them be together, for a while. So I went out there. I was about 5 years old. Started boarding school. My brother and sister were there for about another 2 years, and then they left. And, I was out there for, like, 11 years. came back to Aga Khan here for a bit of high school, and then went to South Africa for my university and A-levels and university.
Okay.
Yeah, at Monash University. So yeah.
So what did you do at university?
I graduated. I did media studies, communications and media studies, and I did a double major with international relations as well. So
Okay, wow.
yeah, and I passed with flying colors.
You just have to put that out
yeah,
there.
for other rappers out there, you know what I mean? Get your marks, man. It
I mean,
helps.
because a lot of people are saying in the world today that
Yeah.
you don't really need to have, a degree.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
For me, I'd say there are a lot of people who can be self-taught, but there are very few people we can actually trust to follow through with that.
Okay.
I know a few people that I came up with who are very successful, but they're always reading, they're always studying up. They didn't do uni, but they're always on the internet updating themselves and getting better at what they do. So for a lot of people, we can't do that. So I think to get the basic structure of what you want to do in life, business or whatever, school is a great place to get that structure without struggling so hard.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say, big up to all those people who are self-taught, but only 10% of us are motivated to do that. The rest of us, get in school, stay in school, man. Please finish up. It's made it so much easier actually for me to profit, and if you think about it, actually being a hip hop artist, I shouldn't be able to, make what I make from the industry.
Okay.
But I think it's only the background I had, the business modules and psychology modules, international relation. It's only those kind of modules that I think have made it possible.
Okay.
To
So they've all contributed.
yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
that's nice. All right, so I'm going to ask you for your first song right now, a Jay-Z song.
Yes. The track is called Already Home. And it's a song actually about a rival, so many times you get critics, in what you do. I mean, you're in media as well, so you understand. People will criticize what you do, but it's like when you become that staple, when you become a NAVIO, when you become a Crystal, it's like you're a household name, but you still have so many people trying to pull you down, so many people trying to step on you, and it's like they need to realize that you're actually already home.
Okay.
You're already where you need to be, where you've been for so long. When you sit in that chair, you have people who tuned in just to hear Crystal, and it's the same with me. So it's basically one of those Jay-Z songs that was really eye-opening.
For you.
yeah
All right, here it is, Already Home, Jay-Z. It is the Hit Selector on 88.2 Sanyo FM, and I'm chatting with Navio right now on Celeb Select. So you were talking about how you recorded your first song at the age of 10.
10, yeah.
So
with an intern, he had like a French cut with a line, and
remember
baggy
that?
jeans and big boots. Yeah. Some interns, skinny guy. He was so skinny. His name was Steve Jean.
back then,
The legend, the millionaire, the billionaire, Steve Jean. Yeah.
the perfectionist.
Yeah,
Steve
Jean. Yeah. So he was, he recorded my first song down there. He was a little intern. He was just about to fly out to the States. And yeah, man, he recorded for this random kid, and he was like, "You're pretty good. We need to do work when I come back."
Okay.
And we did. We made history.
Okay.
As soon as he came back with Ruckus, Peter Miles. Yeah.
Now, clear cut, your friendship, your journey together.
Yeah, brotherhood.
Yes. I mean, because you all say that you're never going to break up as a
Oh,
group.
yeah.
You'll always be clear cut.
Oh, yeah.
How did you guys get together?
We call him the missing link. Yes, Abba Lang, Lang man. He went to school in Turi with us ever since we were like 6-7 years old, and then he left halfway through and joined Hillside.
Okay.
Shout out to the Hillsiders, rowdy crowd. So he joined up with the Hillsiders, and when we came on holiday, he was like, "Yeah, we're doing this rap thing. What? I have some boys from Hillside. You should meet them." So we came through. We met Papito, Habib,
Okay.
and the myth, Tom the Myth Mayanja, notorious, infamous. So yeah, we all basically linked up and we started doing battles and stuff like that. Down at DV8 and all the little spots. Cinna Freak had a little night as well. So we started really building a buzz, especially at DV8. And it was about 5 or 6 groups, but I don't know if you remember the time we had like 500-600 people coming weekly, almost like they'd come to watch a free go or something.
DV8 was massive.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was.
started with so many artists.
So many. And, Mitch at that time was doing the emceeing, let's not even talk about his weight issues. Let's not complain about how skinny Steve was. Mitch
was like this.
Yes. Shoelace. Yeah, you got all the muscles now, man. Mitch, I see you. Yo, man, give me the gym program. I need to get back to it. So Mitch was hosting the battles, and yeah, man, it just grew from there. Hip hop was really big, and then for some reason, all of us just hit school at the same time. It was that summer was over, and all of us had to head back to school. All I Want to Know had dropped. Hip hop had like kind of paved the way as far as music videos are concerned, and then all of us disappeared. Sylvester and Abrams did what they were doing. The Bataka guys went away. The Squad, all the guys who were relevant, Lyrical G continued for a while, but there wasn't much support for hip hop, until we all came back.
There wasn't a lot of support for hip hop,
it was
especially
like
since there was that gap. There was no one really filling it at the time, and then a lot of people also felt that it was a culture that maybe was even alien to us as Ugandans. What is the hip hop culture?
Yeah,
because that's always a question also.
Yeah, I mean, to say the truth, it was never something super foreign. If you think about hip hop and what guys do in the village, it's actually closer to hip hop, and that's a reason actually so many of our artists have a problem being playlisted, because even when I talk to promoters, they'll be like, "NAVIO na kuba ka really Uganda flavor tum pa pa pa." I'm like, that's called Jamaican flavor. You know what I mean? So that's the issue we've been getting into with a lot of guys. They send their music to these international platforms, and immediately they're going to put you competing with Sean Paul and all those other guys because it's actually a Jamaican art form. So really, it was just the absence of enough hip hop music in the industry. That's the only thing that kind of pushed Raga ahead and made Ugandans think that, oh, this is actually a Ugandan sound, but actually it's just a Raga sound with some Luganda on it, is what our popular music is. If you want to go like when people told me, why didn't you go like more of a Raga way with Njogereza, for example? I was like, because I'm trying to get a proper Ugandan sound.
Exactly. I've talked to quite a few musicians, and that is the conversation that is always on the table. I mean, how can we crystallize our Ugandan sound so that it's so distinct? I mean, you've definitely done really well of late.
I tried.
It's so interesting how your song dropped and then Bebe Cool's song dropped at the same time.
Yeah.
But how was that, by the way? Because a lot of people were putting your two songs up against each other.
Yeah. I mean, to say the truth, man, salute to him because he extended the life of Njogereza for like another 6 months. Because there was every DJ was like, which one? This sounds too much like. So they'd put in Njogereza. But, I mean, a lot of artists, even myself, we've all borrowed from each other. So for me, it wasn't a big problem. I think in people's minds, it was just such a unique song that they felt some type of way like, this is such a unique thing, let it stand alone.
Yes.
But that's not what music is about. It's about sharing, you know what I mean? Yes. I know if Bebe had an idea tomorrow and I jumped on that idea or something similar, I know he wouldn't have a problem with it because it's actually just a compliment to him at the end of the day.
Okay.
So in the same way, it's just a compliment to me like, hey, you started this trend, dope, let me also try something in that vein. And that's my brother, man. I know his kids, I know his wife, you know what I mean? Like, if we can all eat, off doing this, like,
yes.
It's not a problem for me. But yeah, a lot of people were mad.
Because everyone was like, okay, who's copying who?
Yeah.
And all of that drama kept going. But like you said, I mean, music is for everyone, isn't it? And you can all sample something as long as you're not actually copy and pasting.
Yeah.
That's
if you had called it Njogereza, like Njogere, if then but
then there'd be a problem.
It was his own idea, and they added like a proper bass line, like a raga bass line and everything to it. Us guys was pure traditional. We had guys with instruments in there, so even the way they were produced was different.
Okay, so for that music video, you decided to go with like a very local flavor, which was really cool. Although, I mean, really letting go of the car, special girl, really special girl.
I'm telling you.
But how was 2016 for you?
Massive.
Was
massive. I mean, just, I think guys don't realize that also before the Njogereza dropped, there was also The Chosen, which was the album that I released, which for Not Just Okay and a bunch of sites has either been the number 1 or number 2 album of 2016, online, by the critics, by, everything. So that was really a big, a big thing for me, and also how far the album went. I mean, by the time I'm getting pulled to do an album release in Kenya, I know that the albums really affected people. So
Okay.
I think the hip hop heads wanted me to come back to that type of NAVIO. And even though I did venture off like 6 months later and doing Jogereza, it was already such a huge year for me, just off The Chosen.
Okay.
And then in Jogereza came and took it to another level, you know, getting a song like that nominated, you know, with the best of the best. You know, we're in Afrima for best, you know, African act alongside Wizkid and Tiwa, best song alongside, you know, Kenzo and Davido, you know, best this and that with Diamond Platinums. It was a really big year, you know, in general, and also spiritually. I felt myself come to a kind of understanding of what the industry is about.
Okay.
You know,
Spiritually.
and yeah, I think that allowed me to kind of be comfortable enough. I feel like I've reached a certain level, you know, where I can feel comfortable enough to experiment and do what I want. You know, I've proved what I needed to prove in the hip hop industry. You know, 200 songs plus. You know, I've got the 35 awards. It's like, what next? And I
Okay.
think this was just the next logical
The
step
next
for me. You
level.
know, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you for your next song right now.
Uh-huh.
This is a collaboration.
Yes.
The Swangs Avenue All Stars. Tell us about this.
Yeah. For me, I think this is one of my picks because it showed that unity. You know, we got so much more done when there was unity, you know, in the industry. And to see it segmented, you know, like you say, the kind of conversations people have in the industry is like, imagine Bobby, Bebe, Chameleon, all of these guys were a unit, moving as one. You know, there's no reason that a P Squared and a Davido and a Wizkid would ever be bigger than these guys, but all of them separate. I think for me personally, I see them. These are all my brothers. It weakens all of them. You know, so I mean, for me, choosing a song like that is just showing how much further we can get with unity.
Okay.
You know, when we're moving as one united front, you know, things happen.
Locomotive, Swanks Avenue, just to say.
Now, you posted earlier today that you had an accident yesterday. We talked about that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we lost an artist,
Yeah.
Dennis Rackler.
Yeah. Yeah, he's, you know, I mean, those kind of, you know, from him releasing Mongato or whatever it was 7 years ago to, you know, seeing someone go out that young, you know, that still has so much potential is like,
I know it's really
you know,
sad.
it's a travesty, man. And being that I was in an accident, you know, you always feel like it was about 3 artists who were in accidents yesterday.
You were telling me, I'm
You
like,
know,
what?
and yeah, and it was Friday the 13th, you know. It was just a lot of weird vibes, you know, yesterday. And I think, you know, Dennis ended up taking, you know, the worst of whatever that vibe was, the worst of what it had to deal out, man. So, you know, rest in peace to Dennis Rackler. And you guys be careful out there on the road and everything,
Exactly.
man. It was broad daylight, you know, when my accident happened and the other artist's accident happened, you know. So, guys, just be careful out there, man. You know, 2017, it's time to get focused, you know, and really
You
think.
know, and people always
yeah.
talk about how at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, somehow we tend to lose a lot of good people.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just life. Well,
Yeah.
no one lives forever, though, but we
True.
do.
True.
So I wanted to ask you a bit about your babies.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes.
You have some beautiful babies.
Yes.
How old
absolutely.
are they now?
Yeah, 7 and 5.
Already?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, writing, talking. Yeah, doing backflips. They're big. They're
Oh,
big.
they're big, yeah?
Yeah, I think they're kind of the best motivation for a person like me. You know, I think I would have gone off the rails a lot of times. You know, if it wasn't for them. And yeah, when you have someone that's going to be looking up to you in a certain way, you know, for my son, I don't want to show weakness necessarily, but I also don't want to show that I'm a hooligan, you know. And for my daughter, you know, I just want to be able to protect her and for her to know that I'm level-headed enough, I guess, to, you know, to be that support for her, you know. So
Do you feel that with the industry, I mean, the music industry, it's so easy for someone to go off the rails?
oh, definitely. And I think even in their lives, you know, at the point I'm at, You know, I'm just glad I have such a great support system around. You know, my mom will kidnap them every second day and everything. You know, anytime.
Judges do
Yeah, you know. My goodness, too much kidnapping now. But yeah, no, she'll you know, all my family, my entire family, my mom and everyone included, you know, takes such great care. And I didn't understand that what they used to say about taking a village to raise a child until it happened to me, you know what I mean? But of course they lift the heartbeat to me when they are babies. That's when I spend most of my time with them. Now that they can follow orders is when everyone else wants to play with them. I guess that's just life. But
that's kind of what happens. They're like, oh, they're so cute. And then the moment they get messy, they start making noise, you're like, okay, go back to your parents.
They get passed back to us. But yeah, no, those are my people. Those are my best friends.
There was a lot of coverage in the tabloids about you and their mom, baby mama drama.
Yeah.
Are you guys on good terms?
Totally chilled for like at least 6 years, you know. I think that was just the shock of it. Everyone saw me as that kind of golden boy for 10 years. And I think a lot of people in the media were like, just wait until one thing. So I mean, you know,
we've got it.
You know, I mean, you have you know, kids with your girlfriend. It's not actually such a big deal, you know, but I think for them they didn't expect it. And also because I'm so private, people didn't even know we were kicking it,
exactly.
You know, with her. So it was just something that came out the blue for them. And they ran with it. They still run with it, actually. You know, they always talk about Navio's 1-year-old baby. I'm like, I think you mean 8-year-old, you know. But for them, you know, anything you can write about. But I don't blame them. You know, people say any press is good press. I don't agree. But
not quite. Not when you're the one on the spotlight.
Yeah.
I met your lady. She's lovely.
Yes, thank you.
Any big things happening in the near future?
Hey, listen, all right? We've only just started. Me and have only just started dating.
Only just started dating?
Only started dating for half a decade. So it's early times, man. We'll see.
Okay.
Nah, she's let's just say I was single for like 5-6 years before her. So yeah, you can do your own calculations.
Were you single by choice? Or
Definitely by choice.
By choice?
Yeah.
Had you been burnt, or you just decided?
Not really. I wouldn't say. I mean, everyone goes through good relationships, bad relationships. For me, I think I just saw my character profile and I was like, you know, I'm so focused on music and I'm so focused on turning up and having a good time, meeting new people. Like, I can never be the type to settle down. And then you meet someone who are actually known for 15 years and who really knows me, you know what I mean? And so it was easier because it's like you're dating someone you care about. She's beautiful. She's hot. She also knows you for 15 years. I don't need to make too many excuses, explain myself too much because she knows.
She understands.
Yeah. She understands my behavior and where it comes from, you know? So that's the hardest thing to find, I think, for someone in my position.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been like a good 15, 17 years. And yeah, we've dated for the last 5 of it. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So you spoke about your new song.
Yes.
And that's what we're playing next.
Yes. Yes, the new one is called Tumunonye.
Okay.
And yeah, it's about going and getting that girl, going and grabbing her. In a traditional sense.
Here it is. Played your new song.
Yes.
And what can we look forward to? Because you talked about 2016 was such a good year.
Yeah.
2017 is here.
Yeah. The pressure. Well, I started by dropping my Rider video. And that was one of those, you know, hip hop tunes. I was supposed to drop it like a 1.5 years ago, but it was about robbery. Yeah.
Oh my.
It was about robbery and my mom had just been robbed, you know. So I didn't, you know, it wasn't the right time for me, you know. But yeah, I dropped Rider. People are responding to that well. Yeah, shot in Miami, glossy, nice.
The women.
Yeah, one or two.
The women are like,
one or two there, you know, just for flavor. Of course, they can't handle our beautiful Ugandan women.
Of course not, never.
Yeah, Miami, shmami. Should have shot it in Kawempe. But yeah. So now I'm under pressure, you know. 2017 has to be a bigger year. You know, I have to do more. And that's the thing, like, I don't like going backwards. So I have to make sure I do more in terms of like touring, getting out there, and I hope the music doesn't suffer for it.
Okay.
But I know that 2017 has to be a bigger year for me. I don't have that many left. As you can see from this, my neck and shoulder
You will be
that
fine.
I injured in the car crash yesterday.
Your mom just tweeted that you're looking pretty fine for someone who had an accident.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, she hasn't seen me since. They called me panicking. Then I was like, hello. She heard my voice. She's like, he's okay.
You're fine.
He's alive. That one, you'll be okay.
That's all
Yeah.
that matters. Okay, so you've been in this industry for a long time.
Yes.
And clearly, because if you recorded your first song at 10,
Yes.
you knew exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you have made a huge impact? Are you happy with where you are right now?
Yeah, I think, I think I could have done a lot of things.
Differently?
Yeah. I mean, I could have just attacked music in general, whatever was popping, because I used to actually sing pretty well when I was younger. I just made the decision to go with hip hop. And now I can't really sing, but, I can still hold a note. But I can imagine that if I had just gone the very commercial route, I could have been, I think, a much bigger artist than I am now. But it wouldn't have been as fulfilling, one. And two, people really wouldn't have been put on the effect of what hip hop means. Like, for me, it's a real art form. The only reason I've been able to do it so long is because I pour myself in the music. So even though it's one or two lines, it still has it can still have a more resonating impact. I'll perform things from 10 years ago and people will still be into it. I've seen a lot of performers that have to do so many videos now, have to do so many songs because what they're doing is bubblegum. But once in a while, I'm able to really hit guys with a track that means something. Even the way I did in Joget is the way it's structured. I structured it like a hip hop song. The rhyme pattern is like a hip hop song. So it even, when you play it on the BBC or any other station in the world, people are still like, oh, this is structured as a really good song, but it's still very traditional.
Yes.
So I think hip hop has given me that. Now that I've been able to be proficient in hip hop, I can use that to my advantage in any other type of music, So don't be surprised when I jump out with a techno album or
So we can look forward to a lot of experimenting. Moving forward.
Yeah, at least
Because you
for
said you're finally
2017.
comfortable right now
Yeah.
as an artist to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna get my Kanye on and just.
You said that you could have done things differently.
Yeah.
So when you look back, I mean, any regrets?
I think just not breaking out into Africa sooner. Maybe not trying to have a sit down, with some of the boys in the industry earlier on. When I saw things going south, like Bobby and Bebe are two really good homies of mine. It'd have been good to kind of actually get together, not just sit back and look and see what's happening and be like, you guys, but to really actively get involved and be like, listen, we're the architects of the new phase. We need to all be on the same page, So it's those kind of regrets, where you could step in and help out with situations, misunderstandings. But in terms of the music, I did what I felt at the time. I went from super hardcore to super commercial. The people in the middle are like,
What's happening?
yeah, why can't you just do some rap for the club also? But I think I'm going to get around to all of that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on this journey of yours, I mean, what have you learned about life and people?
People, a lot of them are out there for their own ends. And I've learned, I think, not to blame them for it. You don't know what hospital bills someone's trying to pay for, what they're trying to do, So you can always expect to be used. And so, my grandmother, I think, always used to say to me that the way you are with people, you're either going to end up with so many friends or a very small group of friends. There was no in between for me. I'm either going to accept what comes with the fame and everything and just be like, yeah, everyone's my friend and we're all, or I'm going to just really be selective about who my friends are, who my homies are. It's either going to be really real or really fake. And I think I chose the really real in a way. I think I've learned to kind of, keep my friends close.
Okay.
Yeah. And keep my enemies further.
That's far away as possible.
I just kind of let them do what they do because I know myself also, I'm You know, I'm the humblest. They call me the humblest, coolest guy in the industry. But I've also got a temper. I know that about myself. So I don't put myself in situations where it's going to blow up.
Okay.
And also the way I class people, and I got this from my brother, you know, is like there's people who like are a real threat. And there's the others, you know. So someone who's a real threat, if they diss me on a track, also when they see me, it's on and popping. But if they're going to come and smile to me, then it's a media stunt.
Okay.
Which is 90% of all my beefs that I've ever had. It's just been a media stunt.
People say that beef needs to, hip hop needs beef.
Yeah, you know. So for me, I just let it do what it does, you know. But if you're not on my level, if you haven't even won 1, 5, 10 awards, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, you know, if you haven't got an award and you're dissing, you're coming at me, you're not going to get a reply, you know. So, yeah, stay on your level, be MK, be class, know what you're all about, you know, and, yeah, man, just play on your level. Don't go for Cristo when you've been in MCing for DJing for 2 months. You don't go at Crystal, man. You don't. This is legends over here, man. You know what I mean? Pedigree.
Back to you.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, my dear. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
and
that.
again, I'm so happy that you're doing okay.
Thank you. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I hope you get on your knees and say thank you to the man above.
Absolutely. I'll be thanking God and an ice pack.
Later. So your shoulder's really giving you a rough time.
Yeah. The shoulder, the neck. Yeah, it's a problem.
So did the doctor give you bed rest?
He did, but he knows me better. Yes.
Not about to happen.
Yeah, I wasn't missing this show for anything this time. Nah, we here.
To the madam, I think he needs a serious massage.
Yes. Yeah, I've been getting. By the way, you see, this is why 5 years has been so easy. Yeah, I mean.
All right, so I have to let you go. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Cool, no doubt.
I'll ask you for your last song, one that is is special, important to you.
I think I'm gonna do one called "Sing for the Moment." You know, Eminem.
Yeah.
You know, nothing is permanent. You know, the position you've been given, you being the king of hip hop, you being the king of whatever you're the king of. You know, you need to sing for the moment, be there for the moment. And this Eminem song is about the industry, how he feels about it, how a lot of people feel about it, and it's about really appreciating it while it's there. I have the platform. Am I just going to be remembered as a hip-hop star? Am I going to try and do a bit more? Do I die with a song like Injogereza? People never hear that from me. You know, these are the questions you're left with. So, Sing for the Moment by Eminem. My last song for all of y'all.